Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel where we bring you the most electrifying stories of real-life legends. Stories that get your heart pumping, teach you powerful lessons, and help you learn English naturally. Today, I am going to tell you about a boy who was born in a tiny village on a small island in the Caribbean Sea. A boy who ran so fast that he seemed to defy the laws of physics. A boy who was told he was too tall, too lanky, and too relaxed to ever be a great sprinter. But that boy did not listen to the experts. He listened to the wind in his ears and the cheers of the crowd. He turned his long legs into lightning, his big smile into a symbol of joy, and his name into a global brand. That boy became the fastest man who has ever lived. His name is Usain Bolt. How did a tall, skinny kid from rural Jamaica, who loved cricket and dancing, transform into an Olympic legend? How did he shatter world records and make the impossible look easy? How did he handle the crushing pressure of the entire world watching him and still manage to smile, to joke, and to strike his famous lightning bolt pose? This is a story about speed, about power, and about the beautiful, relaxed confidence that comes from doing what you love. And as always, this story is a powerful way to improve your English. You will learn vocabulary about sports, the human body, and the language of action. Words like sprint, stride, acceleration, explode, momentum, velocity, and world record. You will feel the adrenaline of the race. So, get comfortable and let us sprint into the life of Usain Bolt. Let us begin from the very start. Usain St. Leo Bolt was born on August 21, 1986, in the small district of Sherwood-Content, in the parish of Trelawney, Jamaica. Jamaica is a beautiful island nation known for its turquoise waters, its reggae music, and its incredible sprinters. Usain's parents, Wellesley and Jennifer Bolt, ran a small grocery store in the village. They were not rich. They were simple, hard-working people who sold rice, flour, and sugar to their neighbors. Young Usain grew up in the lush, green countryside, surrounded by hills and rivers. There were no fancy running tracks, no high-tech training facilities. There was just open land, fresh air, and a child with boundless energy. As a little boy, Usain was always moving. He could not sit still. He would run through the fields, chase the goats, and play cricket and football with his older brother, Siddiqui. His first love was not actually running, but cricket. He dreamed of becoming a fast bowler, charging in to deliver the ball at terrifying speed. He would practice his bowling action for hours, imagining he was one of the great West Indian cricketers he listened to on the radio. At school, his energy often got him into trouble. He was the class clown, making jokes, pulling faces, and distracting the other students. The teachers would punish him, but Usain could not help it. He was full of life. During school sports days, he would always win the races, but running was still just a game for him. He did not take it too seriously. He just loved to compete and to win. When Usain was around 12 years old, he entered his first serious running competition. He ran in his bare feet. He did not have proper spikes. And he lost. He was devastated. He hated losing more than anything. But that loss lit a small fire inside him. The cricket pitch was still his dream, but he was beginning to notice that when he ran, people would stop and stare. He was so tall and so fast that he looked like a young deer flying across the ground. One of his teachers, a nun named Sister Mary, saw the raw talent in the boy. She encouraged him to focus on athletics. Around the same time, a former Olympic sprinter named Pablo McNeil, who lived in Jamaica, also saw Usain run. He was amazed. He had never seen a child of that age with such a long, powerful stride. He told Usain, "You have a gift, but you need discipline. Talent without hard work is just a waste." Usain respected McNeil immensely, and these words began to sink in. Usain enrolled at William Knibb Memorial High School. It was here that his talent truly exploded onto the national stage. The school had a strong athletics program, and Usain was soon the star. By the age of 15, he was already 6 feet 5 inches tall, a giant among teenagers. Most sprint coaches believed that very tall men could not be good sprinters because it was hard for them to get out of the starting blocks quickly. The physics of acceleration, they said, favored shorter, more compact muscles. Usain was an anomaly. He did not fit the mold. His long legs looked awkward in those first few explosive steps. But once he stood up, once he found his rhythm, it was like watching a cheetah. His stride length was enormous. Where other runners needed 50 strides to cover 100 meters, Usain only needed about 41. At the 2002 World Junior Championships, held in Kingston, Jamaica, a 15-year-old Usain Bolt stood on the track before his home crowd. He was just a boy, tall and skinny, with a nervous smile. He ran the 200 meters. The crowd roared as he charged down the straightaway. He won the gold medal. He became the youngest world junior champion in history. The world took notice. The United States, the traditional sprinting powerhouse, offered him scholarships and coaching. But Usain did not want to leave Jamaica. He did not want to leave his family, his food, his culture. He told them, "I want to stay in Jamaica. I want to be a legend for my country." But the path to legend status is never a straight line. In the following years, Usain struggled with injuries. His long, growing body was prone to problems, especially a curve in his spine called scoliosis. He would sometimes pull his hamstring, the powerful muscle at the back of the thigh. These injuries kept him out of major competitions. Critics began to whisper, "He is too fragile. He is just a junior talent who will never make it at the senior level. He should switch to the 400 meters because his start is too slow for the 100 meters." The doubt stung, but Usain's coach at the time, a demanding man named Glenn Mills, believed in him. Mills understood the unique mechanics of Usain's body. He did not try to force him into a traditional sprinter's training program. He worked on strengthening his core, protecting his back, and perfecting his technique over the longer distance of the 200 meters. Mills also knew that Usain had a mental fragility. He hated losing, but he sometimes lacked focus in training. The coach worked on his mind as well as his body. Usain continued to improve. At the 2004 Athens Olympics, at the age of 17, he was injured and was eliminated in the first round of the 200 meters. It was a humiliating, painful experience. He watched from the stands as other athletes won the glory. He promised himself he would never feel that disappointment again. The breakthrough came in 2007. At the World Championships in Osaka, Japan, Usain won silver in the 200 meters, finishing behind the American champion Tyson Gay. But something had clicked. His times were dropping dramatically. Coach Mills finally agreed to let him try the 100 meters, the blue ribbon event, the race to determine the fastest man on earth. Some experts thought it was crazy. But Mills gave him one condition. He had to break the Jamaican national record first. In May 2008, at a small meet in New York City, Usain Bolt lined up for the 100 meters. It was only his 5th competitive 100-meter race. The gun went off. His start was not perfect, but he rose up, those long legs began to churn, and he left everyone behind. He crossed the line in 9.72 seconds. A new world record. The skinny kid with the bad back had just shattered the record of his hero, Asafa Powell. The world was stunned. Who was this giant laughing at the finish line? Now the stage was set for Beijing. The 2008 Olympic Games. The Bird's Nest Stadium was packed with 91,000 spectators. Over 2 billion people watched on television. Usain Bolt was 22 years old. He was about to become a myth. In the 100-meter final, he lined up against the best sprinters on the planet. His start was not the fastest. His long legs took time to unfold. But at around the 50-meter mark, he stood upright and shifted into another gear. It was as if a rocket had ignited. He pulled away from the field with astonishing power. And then, about 10 meters before the finish line, Usain did something unforgettable. He spread his arms wide, looked to the side, and beat his chest. He was celebrating before he even finished the race. He slowed down. And he still shattered the world record, running 9.69 seconds. The stadium erupted. The commentators were screaming, "He's done it. He's destroyed the field. And he's doing it with ease." It was the most dominant, most joyful sprint in Olympic history. When asked why he celebrated early, Usain said with a shrug, "I just wanted to show the world that I could do it. I wasn't worried about the time. I just wanted to win and have fun." This was the birth of the Lightning Bolt legend. But he was not finished. A few days later, he ran the 200-meter final. He had promised Coach Mills he would break the world record held by the great Michael Johnson. Johnson's record of 19.32 seconds had been considered unbreakable. Usain exploded out of the blocks, ran the curve like a train on rails, and as he entered the straight, he was flying. He drove his knees up, his arms pumping, his face a mask of pure determination. He did not celebrate early this time. He ran through the line. The clock stopped. 19.30 seconds. The world record was destroyed. Michael Johnson, watching in the commentary booth, could only say, "Wow." Usain did his famous pose. He leaned back, pointed one finger to the sky, and then bent his arms like a lightning bolt. The crowd chanted his name. He was a double Olympic champion, a double world record holder. And he was just getting started. A few days later, the Jamaican 4x100-meter relay team, with Usain running the third leg, also won gold in another world record time. 3 gold medals. 3 world records. The Beijing Games belonged to Usain Bolt. He returned to Jamaica a national hero. The roads were lined with people dancing, waving flags, and celebrating. He had given his small country a giant moment of pride. But staying on top is harder than getting there. In the years following Beijing, the pressure grew. People expected him to break the world record every time he stepped onto the track. He was competing against a new generation of hungry sprinters, including his own Jamaican teammate, Yohan Blake. Blake was a beast in training, a man with a powerful physique and a fierce work ethic. In 2011, at the World Championships in Daegu, South Korea, the unthinkable happened. In the 100-meter final, Usain Bolt false started. The gun went off, and a second early, Usain had flinched. The entire stadium gasped. Usain ripped off his shirt in disbelief and walked off the track. He was disqualified. The fastest man in the world would not run the final. It was a nightmare. The critics pounced. He is not focused. He parties too much. He is not serious. Usain was devastated. But he took the pain and used it. He went back to the training track with Coach Mills. He trained harder than ever before. He cut out the distractions. He got his mind right. The 2012 London Olympics arrived. The 100-meter final was being called the greatest sprint race in history. Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, Tyson Gay, Justin Gatlin. All the legends were lined up. The tension was suffocating. This time, Usain had the perfect start. His drive phase was explosive. And when he reached top speed, the others could only watch. He won in 9.63 seconds, a new Olympic record. He defended his title. He beat the best field ever assembled. He had silenced every doubter. In the 200-meter final, he was even more dominant. He ran almost a perfect race, winning in 19.32 seconds. And then, with the Jamaican relay team, he won a third gold medal, once again breaking the world record. He had completed the double-triple. He had won the 100 meters, the 200 meters, and the 4x100 relay at 2 consecutive Olympics. No man had ever done this before. He had cemented his name as the greatest sprinter of all time. After London, Usain Bolt was more than an athlete. He was a cultural icon. He appeared on magazine covers. He traveled the world. He loved fast cars, nightclubs, and dancing. He started a business. He became one of the wealthiest athletes on earth. But he was also very generous, donating money and equipment to his old high school and to youth programs in Jamaica. He gave back to the community that raised him. But the body of a sprinter is a fragile machine. The injuries became more frequent. In 2015, he faced more problems at the World Championships in Beijing, where he narrowly defeated the American Justin Gatlin, a controversial figure who had served doping bans. Many saw that race as a battle of good versus evil, the clean, charismatic Bolt against the tainted past of his rival. The race was desperately close. Gatlin pushed him to the limit. But Usain, with the heart of a champion, leaned at the line and won by 1/100th of a second. It was his greatest fight. The final act of his Olympic career was the 2016 Rio Games. Usain was now 30 years old. His body was aching. He had to manage his training very carefully. But the world still expected him to win. And he delivered. In the 100-meter final, he was not at his absolute fastest, but he still powered away from the field, winning in 9.81 seconds. He became the first man in history to win the Olympic 100 meters 3 times. A few days later, he did the same in the 200 meters, an easy, loping victory in 19.78 seconds. And with the relay team, he won his 9th Olympic gold medal. The triple-triple was complete. 9 Olympic finals. 9 Olympic gold medals. He celebrated one last time on the track, bowing to the crowd, taking selfies, and blowing kisses. He had given everything to the sport. He had shown that you could dominate with joy, not just with grim determination. His final World Championships in 2017 ended with a shocking twist. In the 4x100 relay final, he pulled up with a hamstring injury, falling to the track in agony. It was a cruel ending, but it could not erase the story. He was helped up by his teammates and limped across the finish line to a standing ovation. The champion had fallen, but he was still the champion. Usain Bolt officially retired from athletics. He later tried to become a professional footballer, playing for a short time with a club in Australia, scoring a couple of goals, and fulfilling a childhood dream. He did it not for money, but for the sheer love of trying something new. He remains a global ambassador for sport, a businessman, and a proud father. Now, what can we learn from the incredible life of Usain Bolt? First, don't let the experts define your limits. The conventional wisdom said a man of Usain's height could not be a great sprinter. His start was too slow. His body was too fragile. He ignored all of that. He understood that his height gave him a longer stride, a weapon no one else had. Your differences, the things that people say are your weaknesses, might actually be your secret superpowers. Use them. Second, work hard, but don't forget to enjoy the ride. Usain Bolt worked incredibly hard in training. It was painful and repetitive. But when he stepped onto the track for a big race, he was relaxed. He joked. He smiled. He danced. He was a showman. This mental freedom allowed his body to perform without tension. When you are learning English, do not be so stressed and serious that you forget to have fun. Laugh at your mistakes. Dance with the words. Enjoy the process. Third, bouncing back from failure is a champion's quality. The false start in Tegu could have broken him. The injuries could have ended him. The losses to Johan Blake could have made him afraid. But Usain always came back. He reset his mind, worked on his weaknesses, and returned stronger. You will have false starts in your English journey. You will forget words, fail tests, freeze in conversations. Do not let it define you. Get back in the blocks and try again. Fourth, confidence is a powerful performance enhancer. Usain Bolt did not just think he could win. He knew he would win. He posed for the cameras. He beat his chest. This was not arrogance. It was a deep, earned self-belief. You must have confidence in your ability to learn English. Speak loudly, even if your accent is not perfect. Believe that you belong in the conversation. Your confidence will open doors that perfect grammar alone cannot. Fifth, represent your roots with pride. Usain Bolt never forgot his little village in Jamaica. He carried his country on his back and made the whole world look at a small island with awe. He gave hope to every child in the developing world who dreams of greatness. No matter where you come from, be proud of your origins. Your accent, your culture, your unique story, these are not things to hide. They are part of your beautiful, authentic voice. And finally, you do not need to be perfect to be the greatest. Usain Bolt was not a perfect starter. His technique was not textbook. He partied too much according to some. But he was perfectly himself. And that was more than enough. Your English does not need to be perfect to be powerful. It just needs to be yours. Usain Bolt once said, "I worked hard, and I believed in myself." And that is all it takes. He also said, "I know what I can do, so I never doubt myself." You are running your own race right now, learning English. It is not a 100-meter dash. It is a long, beautiful journey. There will be turns and hurdles. There will be days when you feel like you are flying, and days when you feel like you are limping. But keep your head up. Keep your stride long and smooth. And imagine the finish line ahead of you, not with fear, but with the joyful anticipation of the lightning bolt himself. So, let me see your lightning bolt. Strike the pose of a champion. And keep running. Thank you for listening to this story. If it made you want to stand up and run, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Share this with someone who needs a bolt of inspiration. And let me know in the comments, what is one personal record you want to break in your own life? I read every comment. Until next time, keep your fire burning, keep your legs moving, and never forget that you are faster and stronger than you think. Bye for now.